Welcome to Dr. Balaga's God Knowledge Doc podcast, your quick dive into the latest medical breakthroughs to keep you ahead of the curve. Let's get started. Today is August 29, 2025. This video is on a New England Journal of Medicine article published today and also discussed at the meeting of the European Society of Cardiology in Madrid this weekend, titled Digitoxin and Heart Failure with Reduced Ejection Fraction. Cardiac glycosides like digitoxin have been used in heart failure for over 200 years. The prior DIG trial in 1997 showed digoxin reduced heart failure hospitalizations but not mortality. DIGIT heart failure trial tested digitoxin, which has better absorption and enterohepatic clearance. This was a multi-center trial, 65 sites, double-blind randomized controlled trials in Germany, Austria, and Serbia, enrolled 1,240 patients with HFrEF, ejection fraction less than 40%, NYHA class 3 or 4, or those with less than 30% but NYHA class 2. 613 received digitoxin, starting at 0.07 milligram daily. 599 were on placebo. Median follow-up was for 36 months. Digitoxin was titrated to a serum level of 8 to 18 nanograms per ml, and the placebo group underwent sham titration. All patients on GDMT, including beta blockers 97%, ARNI 40%, MRA 76%, and 19% on SGLT2 inhibitors. Primary endpoint, time to death or heart failure hospitalization. The Cox model was used for primary analysis. What did they find? Primary outcome, that is death or heart failure hospitalization, 39.5% in the digitoxin group versus 44.1% in the placebo group. Hazard ratio 0.82, p-value 0.03, number needed to treat 22. For mortality, 27.2% in the digitoxin group versus 29.5% in the placebo group. Hazard ratio 0.86. Non-inferiority p-value less than 0.001. Heart failure hospitalizations, 28.1% in the digitoxin group versus 30.4% in the placebo group. Hazard ratio 0.85. Serious adverse events, 4.7% in the digitoxin group and 2.8% in the placebo group. What were the limitations of the study? It was underpowered due to slower recruitment. 1,212 were recruited. The planned was 2,190. The results are not generalizable to other cardiac glycosides. Key takeaways: digitoxin reduced heart failure events in symptomatic HFrEF on modern therapy. Effects are consistent across subgroups, including CKD and women. Supports selective reintroduction of digitoxin in advanced HFrEF. Clinical pearls from this DIGIT heart failure trial. Digitoxin is not digoxin. Higher lipophilicity, hepatic clearance, and safer in CKD. Target serum level 8 to 18 nanograms per ml, and these effects resemble lower dose digoxin 0.5 to 0.9 nanograms per ml. Additive benefit even with quadruple therapy. Efficacy is consistent in women and in those with impaired renal function. Safety profile acceptable but monitor for cardiac adverse events, 4.7% versus 2.8%. Eponyms and history in cardiac glycosides. William Withering, 1741 to 1799, described the clinical use of Foxglove, digitalis purpurae, for dropsy in 1785. The DIG trial, the DIG investigation group, pivotal randomized controlled trial on digoxin and HFrEF. The PIs were Thomas W. Smith, Woodward Smith, renowned for his foundational work with digitalis pharmacology and cardiac glycoside toxicity. He co-led the DIG trial with deep expertise in clinical pharmacology. I worked in his lab for nearly 2 years before he passed at the Brigham and Women's Hospital and Harvard Medical School. Salim Yusuf, The other co-PI is a global leader in cardiovascular clinical trials. He also co-directed the DIGIT trial and later spearheaded landmark trials like HOPE and InterHeart, transforming global heart failure care. I know him well because we both went to the same medical school, St. John's Medical College in India. He's at the European Society of Cardiology meeting in Madrid as we speak. And finally, statistically, O'Brien-Fleming design was used. It's a sequential analysis method used to plan interim analyses while preserving type 1 error rate. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with your colleagues. When we change how we see disease, we change how we shape lives. Until next time, stay curious, stay compassionate, and keep seeking wisdom. Podcast brought to you by Master MedFacts at mastermedfacts.com.